Do you think because I listen to a lot of Jim Cornette, sue me, I know I'm a bit old school, but I love listening to Corny, and one big point that he makes in a lot of his interviews, especially when he's talking about layouts of matches and things like that, is that there tends to be a lot, and I mean a lot of rehearsing a match, or at least having so many moves in your head that you need to remember because you've got this layout of a match that, okay, this is what we want to do, this is what we're going to do. And saying that that Jim Cornette uses, is that what if you're going out to a vegetarian crowd and you're serving them beef and they don't want beef, and they're a vegetarian crowd and you're giving them beef and you're shoving beef down their throat and they're just throwing it up going, no, I'm vegetarian, I don't want that. I mean, do you find that there has to be a balance between, okay, having those key spots worked out that we know are going to get a reaction at this point, but then also being aware that, okay, we need to just feel it out there. And some of the best matches I've seen, to be honest, like they have maybe 3 spots worked out and they've just, because someone's rocked up late or whatever, hello Rocky, and they'll just go, but they will go out there and have a freaking blinder of a match. You just come back and go, oh, wow, that's amazing. What's your take on that?
I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I think that unlike a regular indie in the States, where maybe you're working 4 or 5 times a weekend and you are getting to shows late consistently, generally in Australian wrestling, you have access to the person that you're going to wrestle with, and you generally are at the building with plenty of time to spare. And I think trying to put a little bit of extra effort in and understand your audience well enough that you can create some moments just by understanding the audience, you kind of have an idea of what they do and don't want. Yep. But also leaving yourself enough wiggle room that you can have the freedom out there to sort of change direction a little bit, or maybe just in your selling, you can change the way that you're approaching certain things. So for me, I just like the freedom of, I generally take my time a lot more than I plan on doing so once I get out there. And obviously with time limits and people trying to keep shows running to certain lengths and things like that, I can definitely run into some issues out there where I'm probably too slow in the beginning and then coming home with a bang at the end, just moving too fast and not allowing things to settle. But yeah, I definitely sit somewhere in the middle. I think to have a few spectacular things that you can plan, or something that's a little bit more complicated that you probably couldn't put together on the fly out there, and still having the freedom to be able to take advantage of moments where fans hand something to you on a platter. Maybe there's something they're enjoying, maybe there's something they aren't enjoying. There's an interaction there where they can let you know immediately what it is that they do and don't enjoy. So yeah, having the skill to be able to adapt on the fly, I think, is really important.
Yeah, I only asked that because I've seen it happen myself, where there'll be a match laid out, and for whatever reason, they're not there. They're not in the mood for, storytelling. Sometimes they're just in the mood for a spot fest, and then once that storytelling's been done, I mean, sometimes that's the hole that you fall into, where we need to tell this story to move this angle along.
Yep.
So we kind of have no choice but to, like, okay, well, if they don't go with it, then okay, maybe we can deviate next time. We can bring them back. But yeah, I just wanted to see what your opinion was, because you get those folks that go out there and can just work on the fly, and then you get some folks that still need that. They need to build that confidence up, Yep. And so to build that confidence up, there needs to be a bit of familiarity with what they're doing, which is fair enough. I completely get that,
I think wrestlers should do whatever makes them most comfortable in the ring to be able to put on the best performance they can. So I know Macho Man Randy Savage is renowned as somebody who liked to lay his matches out. The British Bulldog is renowned as somebody who liked to lay his matches out. And those guys are childhood heroes of mine. Macho Man in particular, absolutely inspired by watching him as a performer. I think he's one of the best ever. And then you hear of guys who just like to go out there and create their moments on the fly. So I think you can make a case for either. It's not an either or. I think whatever situation makes you most comfortable to go out there and put on the best performance for the fans, that's what you should do.